In this problem, we're going to look at the application of a linear function to a real-world setting. The rental cost of a 20-foot recreational vehicle is $129.50 plus 15 cents per mile. We want to A, find a linear function that expresses the cost C as a function of miles driven M. In part B, determine the rental cost if 860 miles are driven. And in part C, determine the number of miles driven if the rental cost is $213.80. In part A, we're looking for a linear function that expresses the cost in terms of the number of miles driven. If we think that our total cost is always equal to our fixed cost plus our variable cost, we can look back at the problem and determine what our fixed costs are and our variable costs are to get an equation or a function for our total cost. We're writing a function C in terms of the number of miles driven M. For fixed costs, we look back and see that the rental cost is $129.50. That's fixed. So we'll write 129.50 plus there's a 15 cent per mile charge in addition to the rental fee of $129.50. So we'll write plus 0.15 times M, where M is the number of miles driven. So our cost function is C of M equals 129.5 plus 0.15 times M, and this is cost in dollars. For part B, we're going to determine the rental cost if M is equal to 860 miles, as we need to evaluate C of 860. So it'll be 129.50 plus 0.15 times 860. If we evaluate that, we get 258.50. So the rental cost for 860 miles is $258.50. In our last part C, we want to determine the number of miles driven if the rental cost is $213.80. That is, we need to solve C of M is equal to 213.80. So here we know the cost, and we're trying to determine what the value of M is equal to. So we have 129.50 plus 0.15 M must equal 213.80. We'll go ahead and subtract 129.5 from both sides. Get 0.15 M is equal to 84.3. Then we divide both sides by 0.15 to get M is equal to 562. So if the rental cost is $213.80, the number of miles driven was 562.